Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Political Excess. Today, let's take a look at Florida's congressional redistricting. Florida is gaining a seat this cycle, going from 27 to 28 seats. There's currently 16 Republicans and 11 Democrats. There are 4 incumbents retiring. All 4 are Democrats. The process for redistricting was controlled by the state legislature, which is controlled by Republicans, and the Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, has signed off on the map. At first, he did veto the legislator-drawn map, as he wanted a more favorable map, and this is what he's got. There's, of course, a lot of court challenges going on, but for now, let's take a look at the changes. So we are looking at 19 Republican-leaning districts and 9 Democratic-leaning districts. 2 of each of those are within single digits. So let's check out the geography. Now, the 5th district with Al Lawson, that has been split into more compact districts. There's a lot of controversy over that, but geographically, I think this does make more sense. Now, in terms of glaring crackings for cities, there's actually not a whole ton. There is some here in St. Petersburg and Tampa. That blue vote is cracked to gerrymander out the Charlie Crist district. And it's not pretty in the other areas, but it's not a glaring crack, in my opinion. Now, if you go down to the Miami area, of course, along the coast there are some weird shapes. This one is especially very off-putting. I don't like that at all. But aside from that, there's not extreme cracking. Of course, the Republicans drew this in a way to favor them in all possible aspects, but it did not seem to go to an extreme in terms of cracking from what I'm seeing here. So how fair is this map? Well, in the last 2 cycles, statewide popular vote for the House, Republicans averaged a little over 52% of the vote, and the Democrats a little over 47%. So in an even year, the Democrats would control 32% of the seats. Now, that is bad, and this is at least a moderate gerrymander and advantage for the Republicans. However, I still do not view this as the ultimate wipeout for the Democrats. I think that still having 9 seats is not being gerrymandered out of existence. If they came out of this with 5 or 6, yeah, if they were all packed into these D plus 30 districts, sure. But I don't see this as big of a wipeout as I've seen in other states like New York, like Illinois, or like Ohio even. In terms of the partisan reflection, yeah, the Republicans are going to have an advantage. They took it too far, absolutely. The Democrats should have probably 2 more seats, but I don't see them having even 12 seats. I think would be too much given the tilt of the state and, of course, who controls the process. So they're still coming out with 9 favorable. In a favorable year for the Democrats, they could, of course, pick up 1, maybe 2 seats. So they are coming out behind. I don't think it's a giant landslide for the Republicans. But, of course, it is highly favorable for them. So Republicans should pick up the Al Lawson seat. They should pick up the Stephanie Murphy seat, the open seat, and the Charlie Crist seat. That is 4 seats that they should pick up. Now, a lot of the media has talked about the racial aspect, losing a black district, the 5th district with Al Lawson. I do think it was gerrymandered. I don't care for the old district. And if Al Lawson was a black Republican, they would have definitely kept that seat. There's no question. And if Al Lawson was a white Democrat, they definitely would have done the same thing to split that up. There's no question. And of course, Charlie Crist, he's gerrymandered out of his district, and for some reason, that doesn't get much attention. And furthermore, Byron Donalds, he's a black Republican, and I guess because he's a Republican, he doesn't factor into this. So I think the right way to go about this is talk about the partisan fairness. That part I agree with. But going in a different direction where it's not about the partisan fairness, that's where you lose me. And then if there's any major geographic crackings, and in conclusion, it's not a good map, it's a bad map, but I have seen worse maps. There's no question. Coming out of this with 9 seats, it's not a good feeling for the Democrats, It's not an overwhelmingly Republican state, so of course they should have a couple more. But I think that this is being completely hyper-focused on the Republicans taking advantage and the racial aspect, when I do think other states have been under the radar for more egregious gerrymanders. I've, of course, reviewed them on this channel. So that is just a look at Florida. There's a lot more you can look at. A lot's going to be coming up with the court challenges. Let me know what you think of this map. Is it the worst map you've ever seen? Is it a bad map? Do you like the map? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.